Hello everyone and welcome to the fourth and final quarterfinal game of MAUL. Today's show features two teams dredged up from the darkness, pulled from the deepest caves beneath the earth, far from the light above. It's drow versus duergar in a fight for the final spot in the semifinal rounds. But before we get to the action, I want to take this moment to thank the commissioner. It is by his mercy that we will live to see another morning. I am Jason Bulmahn, one of the commentators of this match, and I am joined, as always, by my good buddy Dan. Dan!
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing this fine MAUL morning?
I'm good. I'm really good. I woke up, sun's out, looks good. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I am as well. The gruel this morning was particularly delicious before the match, and I am sated and ready to go. You know, we have been watching these teams compete for the past 3 weeks, and here we are at the last quarterfinal match, Dan. What are your thoughts? What do you think has been going on so far? I think there's been a lot of surprises, some things that we didn't expect to see happen.
Yeah, I think for the most part, looking at the brackets, a lot of those seemed like it was going to be a snap decision. This is who's going to win. But, you know, it doesn't always play that way. There's a lot of random events that can happen to really sway the end of that battle sometimes. And that's what we've seen is just a lot of unknowns playing themselves out. It's been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, you know, I think, you know, a lot of people were pulling in the very early bracketing for the killer kobolds to come through, but they ended up falling to the firestormers. And, I mean, who could have seen the Ogre Brothers going down to a bunch of skeletons?
Not me. I would not have guessed that.
No, not at all. You know, and then, you know, just this last week, we saw an incredibly thrilling match that came down to the wire between the Bulmahn and the Bramble Brawlers. That was a match that was, you know, edge of the seat the entire time. The Bramble Brawlers really came to win that one, and it just slipped away from them.
Yeah, you know, they really did show a lot of heart, and they didn't give up. And in the end, you know, it's just hard to beat that giant axe that the Bulmahn is swinging. What are you going to do? I mean, they're trees. That's how it works.
Yeah, he kind of went in and pruned the place.
Yes, he did.
So, before we take a look at today's team, let's go ahead and remind everybody of the rules of MAUL. Each team is built using monsters found in the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Bestiary. Each team is built using 160 XP worth of monsters as balanced against a level 1 party. The matches all play out here in the MAUL arena, as you can see. And throughout the match, we will be polling folks here in Twitch to see what teams they are cheering for. The team that gets the most cheers each round will get a morale bonus on the following round. That will be displayed up at the top of the arena. In addition, folks watching here on Twitch can donate 1,000 bits to a team to buy that team a hero point. Before the match started, we asked folks kind of who they were cheering for. And, you know, we were going to award a hero point to the team that got the most. And, Dan, I'm afraid that was the Dwarves this time.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That's all right. That's all right.
So the Doom
it.
Dwarves are going to start out with a hero point. Now, let's take a look at the bracket so far here. Really quickly, really briefly. Here is where we stand at the start of the final match of the quarterfinals. As you can see, the first semifinal match is set up. That will be the Firestormers versus the Bulmahn. That'll be next Saturday. And today's match will decide who goes on to face the Bonebreakers 2 weeks from now. Boy, I have no idea who's going to manage to win this whole thing. But there are a lot of very strong teams still in the running, so it really could be any of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, every week it's a whole new game. And I think that you feel that with the matches we've seen so far. It just resets and it's all fresh.
Absolutely. Now, I see that here, even in the early going, the Poison Shadows have had a hero point purchased for them, so we'll go ahead and get that in there right away so we don't forget. Let's go ahead and look at the breakdown of these two teams. Now, on paper, they look pretty similar. You know, ACs are not that far apart, hit points aren't that far apart, but there's a lot of differences going on between these two. The duergar have an edge in hit points, but their big advantage comes from, well, getting big. I mean, you can't go wrong with getting large. Every member of the team can enlarge themselves to give themselves a bonus to damage, but it comes at a price. Their AC is going to take a hit when they use that ability, and that's maybe something they can't afford to do. Not against these sneaky drow. Now, on top of that, the duergar are a ranged team. They're one of the few ranged teams we have here. They're actually quite skilled at making ranged attacks. Every member of the team is better at making ranged attacks than they are at melee attacks, except for the team captain, Lord MAUL. And finally, they do have some spells at their disposal. Not only does the Taskmaster have a few divine spells, but every member of the team can go invisible to get themselves out of bind. Dan, what are the keys to the game for the Poison Shadows?
Well, when it comes to the Poison Shadows, the drow that make up the team are far more accurate team in this matchup. What they lack in hit points, they definitely make up for in terms of AC and reactions to give them the edge. They're also known for their use of poison, of course, look at the name. And you can expect them to use it throughout the match and try to slow down the dwarves. This will allow them to set up for sneak attacks, which will make short work of the short duergar. And finally, the drow just have more accurate attacks. They have a much better chance of scoring critical hits, which we all know can turn the tide of battle very quickly.
As a matter of fact, a lot of our games have entirely pivoted on those critical hits. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Doom Dwarves. Now, both of these teams have had a controversial preseason. Both teams were caught having a few too many points on the field of battle. So it's no surprise that they've been forced to face off here in the quarterfinals. Only one of them will earn redemption and go on to the semifinals. The other one's going back to the pits. The Doom Dwarves were forced to send one of their band already to the Black Pits, and as of game time there has been no word from poor Utina. May the Commissioner grant her mercy. Now, Lord MAUL is still confident in his team, though. He is accompanied by Milana, Lofo, and Argus. Now, Argus underwent some additional training between the preseason and now to make up for the loss of Utina, and has become a bombardier. He was a sharpshooter. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. He's got some alchemical items he can bring to the field. But that's all that the Doom Dwarves have going for him here today. Let's take a look at the Poison Shadows. Dan.
So although the Poison Shadows are accused of the exact same scandal, they have yet to admit any wrongdoing in this whole thing. The three sisters that make up the Poison Shadows went to speak with the Almighty Commissioner, and afterwards they made changes to their roster. They replaced their sister Tis with their brother Kron, but they faced no other sanctions. So fans of the Shadows are applauding this and loving the mercy that the commissioner has bestowed upon them. But there's some in the arena who question this clear favoritism. Such questions will undoubtedly be silenced, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't speak out against the commissioner's decisions. That's just a poor idea. But
yeah, not smart.
But I do have to admit, something seems a little fishy here.
Yeah, well, maybe. The Almighty Commissioner knows what they're doing.
I do have faith in the commissioner, Dan. I really do. Well, it is about time for us to get started, but before we go on to roll initiative, we are going to go ahead and get an ad from one of our sponsors.
And this week's MAUL tournament is brought to you by Silver Crescent Wines. When the time comes for celebration and drink, there's water, ale, everything else, then Silver Crescent Wines. It's above the rest because it's better than the rest. Silver Crescent Wine.
And we're back. Dan, it is time for us to roll initiative. Remember to click on the tokens before you hit them. And we're going to go ahead and get initiative down for all of these characters here real quick. This has often been an incredibly deciding factor in our matches. Initiative can really make or break your team, depending on what loadout you have going into the match. Oh, did I not get Milana? Oops. All right. There we are. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sort these. And, yeah, it's a pretty mixed bag, although I do have to admit it does look like the drow managed to seize a good portion of the initiative. Before we get started here, I do see that we do have another sponsorship. Looks like your Poison Shadows have already gotten their second hero point, pulling up even and then exceeding that which is had by the Doom Dwarves. Now, as we get things started here, Dan, we are going to start off this round with Moreira. She's going to get 3 actions. Let's get this going.
All right, let's do this. Let's start with Moreira.
Running straight into the fray.
I think Moreira is going to go here.
For a team that is renowned for their stealth, that is a very bold move here in the early going.
You know, Jason, in this type of arena, fortune favors the bold, usually. I feel like Moreira is going to go there, and with the remaining 2 actions, they are going to cast Fairy Fire to land right here.
Oh, no. Now, can you remind us what Fairy Fire is going to do for us here?
Yeah, so let me put that right there.
All right, so that's a 10-foot burst targeted in this spot right here, which is going to hit the entire team. Limed in colorful heatless fire, the color of your choice. Dan, what color are they being limed with?
Let's go with blue in honor of our team color. Let's go with blue.
Fair enough. All of the Doom Dwarves are limed in faint blue light. This is going to make it impossible for them to be concealed, and if they go invisible, they are concealed rather than undetected. This completely negates their ability to go invisible, basically at best making them concealed. And with that duration, that's going to last the entire rest of the match. That is a powerful move from the Poison Shadows here on the start of play. Lord MAUL is going to go next. This simply will not stand. So, Lord MAUL, his very first action is going to be, he is going to take his maul, slam it down into the ground, invoking the name of their dark deity, and rallying them all to great glory. This ability takes only 1 action and is going to give him and the entire rest of the team a +1 bonus on attack rolls and damage rolls until the end of the Taskmaster's next turn. That is the first action out of the Taskmaster. The second action out of the Taskmaster, second and third action actually, is going to be to cast Magic Weapon on the Taskmaster's maul. This turns it into a +1 striking maul that is going to last for the entire rest of the match, which means it is going to have a +1 to hit and do an additional D12 of damage. And that is all the Taskmaster is going to do on his first action. Next up is Kron.
All right, so Brother Kron is going to go. Let me make sure. Yes, perfect. Kron is going to go. I think Kron is going to go right to there. He's going to double move, and he's already got his crossbow with 1 poison arrow in it, his hand crossbow.
All right. Probably not too good for me.
Well, you never know. I mean, gonna go right there.
Charging right up into the duergar.
And boy.
Question is, who do you fire at?
That is exactly what I'm wondering. I am not a fan of Argus's ability to lob bombs and things like that, because that could spell some trouble. Let's do Argus. We're gonna go ahead and take a shot with Argus.
All right. Taking aim at the Duergar Bombardier.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. That's where it's going. Let's do that.
Armor class of 23 is a solid hit on Argus. That is going to do 6 points of damage. Argus is going to be reduced down to 14 from that hit. And we're going to suffer from lethargy poison.
Let's do that. Lethargy.
All right, I need to make a fortitude save against a DC of 18 to avoid getting slowed. Fortunately, the Duergar have relatively decent fortitude saves, but this is still a 50-50. Here we go. 16 is going to fail. Boy, that is a bad turn here early going. Argus is going to be slowed for 1 round. I'm going to go ahead and mark that by basically putting a little timer on him here. I think that's probably the best one to do. Yeah, we'll do that. He's slowed by 1. So on his turn, he will get 1 less action. All right. That is the end of Kron's turn. Next up is Alec. Boy, the drow are moving quick. But the bottom of the order is going to be entirely Duergar.
All right, well, I think Alec is also going to do a double move.
Charging up. These drow are certainly very bold, taking a very direct course here.
Yeah. And they've also, so basically, just to start off, they've all started off with a loaded hand crossbow with the lethargy poison arrow in there. So Alec is going to go ahead and continue firing on this range baddie that's right here. Definitely within range.
On Argus again?
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Boy, the goal here sure does seem to be to take out that Bombardier as quickly as possible. An armor class of 17, though, is going to come up short.
Let's use that. I have a hero point, right?
You have 2 hero points, in fact.
Good. Let's use one of those 2 to re-roll that one.
All right. Alec is going to spend one of those hero points, and as it turns out, it paid off. The damage is minimal, but only 1 point of damage. That is going to continue to whittle away at Argus here. However, this is me being exposed to the poison again, so I am going to have to make another save against it. Here we go. Oh, failed again. I believe that is unfortunately going to increase to stage 2, which means Argus is now slowed for 1 minute, which is probably the entire rest of the match. That is really unfortunate. And that is going to be the end of Alec's turn. Next up is Milana. Milana is going to move off to the side here, attempting to avoid the drow moving off to cover. The sharpshooter is going to move to there. The sharpshooter had a crossbow out and is going to go ahead and fire it at Kron. Armor class of 10 is not going to do it. I'm going to have to let that stand. I do not want to spend a hero point on that. So that is going to be a miss with Milana's last action. She is going to reload. Next up is Lofo. Lofo is going to pull the same thing, moving off to the other side, and from that vantage is also going to fire at Kron. We're going to go ahead and take that shot with the crossbow as well. Armor class of 21, but only 1 point of damage.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Not gonna get the job done with that. Lofo takes the fire at Kron and is gonna be done. Next up, as we kind of race through the bottom of the order here, is Argus. Argus only has 2 actions here. That's not too many, but Argus is going to go ahead and throw a bomb. Argus had a bomb in hand and is going to go ahead and throw that bomb at Kron. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and make this an alchemist fire, lesser alchemist fire. So here it comes. Okay. Well, it didn't like it saying damage by splash weapon, apparently. we had a slight error in the render for the arena here. So that bomb is going to be an armor class of 26 against Kron.
That does hit.
I don't believe that's a critical hit, though.
It's not, no.
All right. So I changed that to a D8 real quickly, and that was Alchemist Fire, which is indeed a D8, so we will just stick with that damage. So it's 6 points of fire damage.
Okay.
But perhaps most importantly, Kron is now on fire, and is going to take 1 point of fire damage every round until that goes out. At the end of Kron's turn.
Okay.
Now, for Argus's second action, Argus is going to go ahead and use Quick Bomber to draw another bomb and throw it this round. This throw is going to be made at Alec. And this is going to be another Alchemist Fire as well. So here we go. Armor class 21. So
that does hit.
A 21 is going to be a hit, takes 7 points of damage.
Yikes. I hate that bomber. Nobody likes the bomber. Get out of here, bomber.
And Alec is also on fire. We'll put a little marker on there to remember that they are on fire. But that is going to be the end of Argus's turn, because Argus, only gets 2 actions after being heavily poisoned here in the first round of MAUL. That is going to be the end of our first round. Dan, before we go, I do think it's time for another word from our sponsors. Today's MAUL action is brought to you by Big Beard Brews. Can't grow a beard? Are your ears too pointy? Then this is not the beer for you. Big Beard Brews. Drink like a dwarf. And we're back. Welcome to round 2 of this quarterfinal match of MAUL. Dan, that first round was rather eventful. I thought things were kind of going nowhere until the very end there, where Argus got poisoned to the ends of the earth, but still managed to come through and land a couple bombs.
They're distributing that damage pretty nicely right now. That's for sure.
I have to admit, from what I'm hearing from down in the duergar side of the pits, they are not happy with spreading this damage around. This is not really ideal for their strategy. But they're going to have to make do with it. Fortunately, Lord MAUL is now spelled up and ready to fight, so... I am getting word from the IMS commissioners that there was a slight error on the play. Both of the drow who took hits from alchemical weapons should have taken 1 additional point of splash damage. So we should probably adjust their hit points by 1 each. While you're doing that, I will note that the crowd in the first round was cheering very heavily for the Poison Shadows. So the Poison Shadows will be having a morale bonus here in the second round of play. And the second round is going to get started right now with Moreira.
Okay, so Moreira is going to...
Uh-oh.
I think Moreira is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Going to go right there. And they still have their poisoned arrow loaded up in their hand crossbow.
That is very true.
And it's 30 feet. They are going to take their shot at Lord MAUL.
Lord MAUL, the team captain, really the center of the duergar team. Gonna take a shot at him. All right.
Yeah. Well, hang on now. If just really quick, if this shot goes to Argus, does it take a penalty because there's an ally in the middle?
Yes, actually, the target is screened and would get a +1 bonus to hit.
Okay. Let's go. Let's take a shot at MAUL, Lord MAUL.
All right.
And this is the hand crossbow.
Oh no! There are howls and cries as the Poison Shadows score a critical hit. That is a natural 20 on the roll. That is going to do 8 points of damage to Lord MAUL. It's not a lot of damage, but every little bit is going to count against the leader of the Doom Dwarves. And unfortunately, this also means he's going to have to make that fortitude save against the poison. Here it comes. A 20 is going to make it and resist the effects of the poison. Now, Bagheera does have one action left, but the crossbow isn't loaded, and there are no other weapons drawn. So what's Bagheera got so far?
Bagheera is going to go ahead and just draw the short sword.
All right, drawing out the short sword. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up, Lord MAUL is going to go. Oh boy. Well, Lord MAUL is cursing up a storm after being hit by that critical hit, and is going to confidently stride forward to Kron and is going to make an attack. Now, as a reminder, this MAUL is +1 to hit and is still under the effects of Take Them Down, the special ability. So this is a +2 on whatever I roll right here for the magic weapon and for the Take Them Down. So let's see what we get. Armor class of 10 is terrible. I have it. I'm pretty confident that the duergar are going to spend a hero point. They need to get a lucky break here, and rolling a 2 certainly isn't it. So we are going to go ahead and re-roll that. Here it comes. Armor class of 20 is going to hit. Now, that is going to do... normally that would be 12 points of damage, but this has an extra d12 on top of it. And I say 12 because Take Them Down gives a bonus of 1. So that's 11, 12, plus a bonus of 12, d12.
Ooh,
is another 12!
Please.
Lord MAUL walks up and flattens Kron. Just puts him in the ground. Utterly annihilating Kron.
That's 23 points of damage.
24 points total. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Kron is obliterated. The MAUL is a deadly, deadly weapon. And with Lord MAUL's final action, he is going to go ahead and call out to his Dark Master to give his entire team the bonus once again. That is going to be his third and final action. Now, I can see right here that we did just have the Doom Dwarves get both of their remaining hero points purchased. We have had 2 more sponsorships to the Doom Dwarves. They are now full up on hero points. However, not to be outdone, the crowd has come in big, and the Poison Shadows have gotten their last hero point as well.
Right.
This match is getting tense. That is the end of Lord MAUL's turn. Then it is Alec's turn.
Yes. All right. Well, Alec is going to... This is not going the way I was hoping. Let's see.
Well, you still have a hand crossbow in hand, but I'm afraid it's not loaded.
It's not loaded, no. I'm going to go there and then use quick draw to draw my rapier. I mean, my short sword.
Uh-oh.
And with the third action, take a swipe with the short sword.
It's actually only your second, because quick draw allows you to draw and attack, if I recall correctly.
Oh, okay. I thought the drawing and attack was one, and then the movement would be another. But I'll take that. That's perfect. Yeah, I'll take an attack with my short sword.
Yep. So yeah, that was drawing and attacking is only going to be your second action.
Okay.
Armor class of 22 is going to be enough to hit Lord MAUL. That is going to do 6 points of damage. Lord MAUL is feeling the pain there and is down to about half health. Alec does still have one action remaining.
All right. So for the third and final action, I think that Alec is going to try to take a second attack with that short sword.
Yeah, you got to get in those hits
Lord
while you
MAUL.
can. Lord MAUL is the big threat on the board right now.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
23! That is going to be another hit, cutting down another 7 of Lord MAUL's hit points. He is in dire straits. He is in single-digit hit points. That was a bold move, Dan. We will have to see if it pays off. But we do still have the entire rest of the Duergar roster to go. Next up is Milana. Milana is hidden out behind a column back here, has a loaded crossbow, and you know what? I don't see any reason not to unload on Alec. So here it comes. Crossbow firing at Alec. An armor class of 22 and maximum damage, Dan. That is going to be 8 points of damage. And while you're adjusting it, let's not forget that Alec was actually on fire. So make sure to take an additional point of damage from the persistent fire. So that's going to be 9.
Okay. I think I tried. Okay, there we go.
There you go. And go ahead and just bounce a d20. You want a 15 plus to see if the fire goes out. Gotta check that at the end.
Okay.
No, you are still on fire. All right. So Milana is going to go ahead and reload and fire again. Armor class of 18. Don't think that's going to do it, Dan.
Not gonna do it this time, no.
All right. Well, next up is Lofo. Lofo is going to target Moreira and is going to pull the same maneuver that Milana did. Is going to fire a crossbow at Moreira. Armor class of 19, Dan. That is very close.
19's gonna hit, however, with a nimble dodge. They are going to evade that shot. It looks like the Matrix. They've leaned back. They're doing the slow motion movements, and the arrow just flies right by.
All right. Well, you can only do that once per round, so I've got you this time. Maybe I can hit you with the second attack. Lofo is going to go ahead and reload and fire a second time. Armor class of 18, though. I'm just coming up one short. You know what? Actually, sorry, that's not a miss. That, I forgot about take them down. That is going to hit. That is an armor class of 19, but it's only going to do 3 points of damage.
And that's against Moreira?
Yeah. Who cannot dodge a second time.
3 points.
It occurs to me that
right.
the other shot from Milana would hit as well. But Alec can also nimble dodge, so that could be turned. We'll just move along.
Okay.
All right. That is the end of Lofo's turn. Both Milana and Lofo now have empty crossbows in their hands. And last but not least, we have Argus. Now, Argus has used both of his Alchemist Fire. All he's got now are Acid Flasks. These are not quite as good, but they are better than nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this to do 1 acid damage plus a d6 piston damage. 1 acid bomb, so that reads right. Argus, who only gets 2 actions, is going to go ahead and actually Boy, I don't want to put any persistent damage on Lord Maul. That's a really bad move. Is going to move to here and is going to throw an acid bomb at Moreira. Here it comes. Armor class 20. That's only going to do 2 points of damage. 1 + 1 for the take them down ability.
Okay. Can I use nimble dodge on that or no?
No, because you've already nimble dodged once.
Okay. Okay.
However, you now have a D6 persistent acid damage. So at the end of each one of your turns, you will take a D6 acid damage, and there's a chance that it might end each round. So I'm going to put that there with a 6 so that we remember it's a D6.
Okay. And so right now it's -2?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and let's not forget the splash damage. So that's another one.
Right now?
All right.
Right
okay.
now on Moreira?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. I think with with Argus's 2 actions, that does bring us to the end of round 2 of this quarterfinal match. We've got some exciting developments here. It's all going to come down to what happens on round 3. I have a sneaking suspicion. But before we get there, why don't we hear a word from another one of our sponsors?
MAUL is proudly brought to you by Silver Crescent Wines. Stand out from the pack, especially when that pack is filled with ale-swilling dwarves and their dusty beards. That's Silver Crescent Wines, refined, smooth, and not afraid to look down upon you.
Welcome back to round 3 of this final quarterfinal match of MAUL. Dan, there's some exciting developments happening here. I have a sneaking suspicion it's all going to turn on this round. Whether or not Lord Maul stays in this arena, whether or not either of the sisters is taken down, is pretty much going to determine how this thing flips out. But, that's why we roll the dice.
That's exactly it. And sometimes the dice giveth, sometimes they taketh away.
That is absolutely true. Speaking of giving and taking, the crowd has been fickle on this one, and they have turned their favor to the dwarves, who are now going to get a morale bonus for this round. That is very devastating, considering they already have a bonus from Lord Maul's special ability. However, to get things started here, Dan, Moreira goes first. She has her weapon already drawn. What's she gonna do?
Okay, Moreira is going to slide right up here.
That is really not good for Lord Maul.
And their second action, they're going to attack with their short sword.
I am honestly not surprised by that. You can see a lot of concerned expressions from the drow pits, or the duergar pits, as Moreira slides on up. Go ahead and make that attack roll. A 19 is
plus
going to hit.
All right. Max damage on that. And then let's do sneak attack.
That is going to be another D6. Maximum damage. 16 points of damage. Dan.
Yeah.
Lord Maul crumples to the arena floor.
Okay. The
Duergar cannot be happy with that. Without their team leader, they look pretty lost. None of them are going to get the bonus now, because that bonus ends right after Moreira's turn, so none of the rest of them are going to get any more of that bonus. Moreira still has 1 action remaining.
Moreira is going to slide right over here.
That is troublesome, especially considering Alec goes next.
All right, Alec, who already has their sword drawn.
Yes.
Is going to move right here and
Boos
take a swing.
And hisses coming from the Duergar pits.
And you know what? Take a swing with the short sword.
Not good. Really not good.
29, 30, 31, something like that. I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's +2 or what. Whoa,
my armor class is 2 lower, so you don't have to worry about taking that into account. I take that into account. So
okay.
The duergar's armor class is reduced to a 16 in a flank, and you just rolled a 29, Dan. Dan, the Poison Shadows have just scored a critical hit,
Oof.
doing
Oof.
18 points of damage before doubling the sneak attack.
Okay, so that's 2 D6s.
In either case, it's incredible overkill. The Duergar Bombardier is also removed from play. That is devastating to the Duergar. How can they possibly expect to compete losing their leader and their next most skilled combatant? Dan, we're going to have to find out. I do want to remind you that at the end of Moreira's turn, Moreira is going to take a d6 damage from the fire, or from the acid. It's going to do 2 points of damage to Moreira, and if you could bounce me a d20 to see if that goes out.
Okay, hang on, let me do the 2. And then here comes a d20.
Nope, still burning from acid. Now, Alec is going to take 1 point of damage as well.
Okay.
And you're going to need to follow that up with another d20 to see if that goes out, if the fire goes out.
Okay.
It does.
Nice. And then Alec has 1 more turn left.
Certainly.
Or one more.
Like it. Yep.
1 more action.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Move straight up to Lofo. Can't say I'm surprised. All right. That is the end of Alec's turn. Now, Milana and Lofo both have their off turns right now with their crossbows because they are both unloaded at the start of their turn. Milana is going to load and fire at Alec, desperately hoping to remove one of the sisters from play. Here we go. Armor class of 18. Now that does get bumped up to a 19, Dan.
Nimble Dodge says it won't hit, because normally a 19 would hit.
Yeah.
But with Nimble Dodge, I'm going to avoid that.
Yeah. So that is going to be a miss. Milana's final action is going to be to reload the crossbow. Lofo goes next. Lofo is terrified of this drow and is going to spend his first action moving back, second action reloading, and third action firing at Alec. Armor class 25 is going to hit, but unfortunately it's only 5 points of damage, which is not going to be enough to remove Alec from the field. Boy, that was not the best of turns for the Duergar. Round 3 did indeed prove to be decisive, but we are now at the end of that round, Dan, and it's time for another word from our sponsor. This match is brought to you by Big Beard Brews. This ain't a sipping wine for tree-hugging nobles. It's a hard-hitting beer for hard-working folk. Big Beard Brews. Beer for the common folk. And we're back with the start of round 4. Dan, round 3 was pivotal, just kind of like I thought it was going to be. The Doom Dwarves cannot be happy with how that round played out. What are you hearing from the Poison Shadows?
The Poison Shadows are cautiously optimistic. I think that they can see that the playbook had to be thrown out, but they kind of made the adjustments, and I think that they're hopeful that those are going to pay off in the end.
Yeah, I think every team comes into these matches with an ideal plan, but almost none of them last. It is a bit tricky here at the start of round 4, Dan. The cheering has once again tilted back into the favor of the Poison Shadows. We are going to go ahead and give them that morale flag, so they are going to be at a +1 to hit all this round. Not like they need it. And
No, they
Megara
might.
is going to start out the round going first.
All right. So Megara is wondering, can they sneak themselves into this square right there?
Absolutely. Most of the square is there, so it does count. There is a
Okay.
snarling a young minotaur in the stands above them named Jason. He's a fancy lad.
All right. Well, all right. Megara's going to go there and with their move action, and then they're going to take 2 shots with the short sword, 2 stabs.
All right.
With the short sword. Oof.
Now, an armor class of 14 is not going to get the job done, Dan. Are you?
Do I have
still-
hero points left?
2 left.
I have 2. I would
Yeah.
like to use a hero point, please.
All right. The drow are going to call upon the favors of their dark deity and re-roll that attack roll.
There.
Armor class 27, Dan,
Mm-hmm.
because you have the morale bonus,
Oh, right. That's right. 27.
is another critical hit.
Yeah. All right.
That
That's awesome.
is going to do 12 points of damage. Lofo, who was in perfectly good health before at the start of this round, is now on death's door. Megara
that.
still has 1 action left.
Take the second stab.
This is not good.
Ooh, that's ugly.
That is a critical failure. The Poison Shadows have 1 hero point remaining, but you gotta wonder, are they going to spend their last hero point of the match on this roll?
Don't think they are. I have one left, right? That's
1
what you said.
remaining.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't. Not yet. No, not yet.
All right. That is the end of Megara's turn. Next up, Alec. Oh, sorry. Before we get to Alec, Megara needs to take a d6 points of fire damage or acid damage. 6.
Ooh, that's not good at all.
And then you need to bounce another d20 to see if the acid finally fades away. 12 is not going to do it. You're still bubbling and burning. Argus will have his revenge from beyond the grave, it seems.
That bombardier, man, oh man, I tell ya, I knew
Alec
there were gonna be trouble.
is up next.
All right, Alec is going to move to here and take an attack with their short sword.
Armor
22.
class of 22 is gonna do it, and that damage alone, not even counting the sneak attack, is enough to remove Lofo from the field. The Duergar cannot be happy with that result. They now only have 1 team member left on the board, but both of the Poison Shadows are wounded. You never know how it could turn out. Alex still
Very
has
wounded.
1 action remaining.
I think Alec is going to move here.
All right, Alec is going to go running over to get some cover.
They're going to go there.
All right.
That's what I think.
All right, fair enough. All right, that is the end of Alec's turn. Next up is Milana. Boy, Milana has a loaded crossbow and is going to take advantage and fire at Megara. I am swinging for the fences here, desperately hoping for a good roll. Here it comes. A 13 is a terrible roll. I am going to the Duergar are going to call out to their Dark Forge patron and are going to spend a hero point to re-roll that. Here comes the re-rolled check. Even worse! A critical failure on the check. Milana is then going to spend her second action reloading and her third action firing again, desperately hoping for some bit of magic here. A 14 calling out once again, burning the final hero point. Really need something to go right here. 21! A hit. A 21 is going to be a hit.
Yes, that is going to be a hit.
But for only 5 points of damage. Not gonna really get the job done. Bad news. And that is going to be the end of round 4. Dan, why don't we hear from our sponsors probably just one last time?
Today's MAUL action is brought to you by Silver Crescent Wines. Why drink like a dwarf when you can drink like a civilized individual? Silver Crescent Wines. Be a civilized individual.
And we're back with the start of round 5. Dan, things are not looking good for the duergar, but I have to admit the drow are in pretty dire straits. Both of them are very badly wounded. Unfortunately for Milana, both of them get to go first. So we are going to go ahead and get this round started with Moreira. Now, before we get started here, I do want to point out that the drow are keeping the morale bonus again this round. They do still have 1 hero point remaining. What is Moreira going to do?
Moreira is going to take 2 actions to move up to this square right here.
That is very not good for the duergar.
And then is going to...
I can hear faint prayers coming from the duergar pit, calling out to their dark deity, hoping for bad dice rolls.
Is there a chance that they could ready an attack when Moreira's sister falls into a flanking position?
You can ready a reaction in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but doing so requires 2 actions.
Okay, and I've already used 2
You've
for
already used 2, so
moving.
basically you're left with attacking.
Okay, Moreira's going to take a stab with the short sword.
I mean, or quietly encouraging Milana to greater deeds,
spending
an action to, No? All right.
No, we won't be doing that. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is. There it is. That's what you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it.
A roll of 20 is a critical hit. That is going to do 18 points of damage, and just like that, just at the start of the round, the match is over. That removes the final duergar from the field of play, and we have a winner. Dan, the Poison Shadows have claimed the final spot in the MAUL semifinal round to start just next. Dan, that was an incredible match for the Poison Shadows. They have to be happy with their performance on the field today.
I think that they've learned some lessons for next time, and they're really excited to be able to move on to the next round, for sure.
The 2 of them, the 2 sisters, you notice that they did send their brother out there to be the sacrificial lamb right away. He got planted by Lord MAUL, but the 2 sisters really managed to come in clutch.
Yeah, I think that you're still seeing the effects of them not having the 3rd sister there. I think they're still used to that dynamic, and hopefully they can regroup before the next week or before their next match.
Yeah, indeed. And for the duergar, you can't help but think that they are going to be spending the off-season looking at the circumstances that led them to bringing not the team they had planned to the tournament, but ending up having to send one of their members to the Black Pits, having to train up somebody right before the start of the season. That has to be a break to their morale, and they're going to be thinking about that long and hard. I can only imagine the controversy that's going to swirl out of that decision. And, the duergar, they're going to have to try better next year, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't count them out ever.
So, Dan, that wraps up our quarterfinals. How you feeling about how those came out? It's gonna be an exciting series of semifinals the next 2 weeks.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Honestly, from being here for all of the matches, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Me neither. I honestly think now that the 4 teams are set, we know which 4 teams are going home. We know which 4 teams are going on. All 4 teams that have won their first match are going to play 2 more games. They're either going to play this semifinal match and advance to the finals, or they're going to play that semifinal match, lose, and play in the third, fourth place qualifier round to figure out the top 4. So every team we're going to see at least 2 more times. And boy, it really could be any of their days. The MAUL is up for grabs.
It's anybody's game at this point. I'm just excited to see it play out.
That wraps out this quarterfinal round of MAUL. Next Saturday, November 21st, we hope you will join us for the start of the semifinal round, which will see the hungry Goblin Firestormers, fresh off their victory over the Killer Kobolds, taking on the Bulmahn, favored of the Commissioner and last season's champion. One of these teams will advance to the final match and get a chance to take home the coveted MAUL.
And as always, we hope you enjoyed this match. If you missed this or any of the other matches, you can always catch up by watching them on YouTube on the Monday following each game. And while you're at it, pick up some MAUL merch. It's featuring your favorite team logos on different things like cups and mugs and shirts and hoodies and stickers and all kinds of fun stuff. Just look for the link down in the comments section.
This has been a presentation of MAUL. We have been your hosts. I am Jason Bulmahn.
And I'm Dan Servo.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.